Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome back to another Duskmourn House of Horror Arena Direct draft. Just a premiere draft, essentially, of Duskmourn House of Horror, a best-of-1 draft, where if we manage to win it, 6 wins before 2 losses, we manage to get some play booster boxes of Duskmourn House of Horror. Really cool event, but without further ado, let's get into the draft. We're going to start with our pack 1 pick 1 here of Optimistic Scavenger. I think this is the strongest card in the pack, and it's pretty great to play in basically any white deck in the format, but particularly excellent in blue-white. Some other really high picks include Trapped in the Screen as the best removal spell in the pack, and Fear of Falling is quite a solid threat as well, so I think these are the top 3. In my opinion, there is a slight lean towards Glimmerlight for being super flexible, being colorless, but I don't think we could justify taking that over these other 3 powerful spells anyway, so we'll start with Optimistic Scavenger, see how things go from there. Pick 2 doesn't have a great follow-up to Optimistic Scavenger, honestly. Lionheart Glimmer's just okay, really. There's not a ton of super token heavy decks. And even in those, like the Boros deck that we started with, the card is just okay, so I don't really want to lean on that. I think the commons are just stronger, particularly the green commons. Manifest Dread plays well in a lot of archetypes, fueling your graveyard with Delirium, and anything that cares about manifesting cards obviously likes that quite a bit as well, but Spineseeker Centipede's the much more flexible card, being mana fixing for any green deck, being a 2-for-1, both a creature on the board plus an extra land to your hand. I think we just take Spineseeker Centipede, but certainly not super excited about this pack. Pick 3, this draft is just not starting great. There's not been a ton of power. Pick 2 and pick 3, I guess we're just on Exercise here as a fine removal spell. There is a decent amount of artifacts and enchantments in the format, so being able to exile an artifact, enchantment, or creature with power 4 or greater, this almost always has some kind of target. Again, the pack's really just quite weak overall. Duskmourn's Domination is so much mana, and whatever you're stealing, you're getting rid of all of its abilities, which usually makes the card relatively inconsequential. The card that you've stolen from your opponent, but it's still like removal, sorta. It's just super expensive. And then, yeah, none of these other cards are really just good. Yeah, kind of a bummer start to the draft, but things can always turn around very quickly in a format this powerful. All right, this is certainly our worst start to a draft so far. The packs are just so weak that we're not happy no matter what colors we are. There's a jump scare here for a solid filler combat trick for a more aggressive deck. Sometimes this can win the game through board stalls. There's a second copy of Exercise, I guess. There's also Vanish from Sight, an okay blue tempo removal spell, pretty comparable in power level to Exercise, just because Exercise is much more efficient but less flexible. There's an Innocuous Rat. It's kind of my favorite card here. I do like that death trigger a lot, but I mean, it's barely my favorite over just Exercise or Jump Scare, so we probably just stay on color here. I don't know. Not very happy right now. Pick 5, this is the happiest I've been since pick 1. We can take a Glimmerlight and shove it into any deck we play perfectly fine. We could also try to high roll and go for Faithful here, moving towards Black-White Reanimator. That deck's pretty finicky though, you really have to get the right cards to go with it, so it's quite a bold pick, whereas Glimmerlight's just a super safe one. Definitely going to be a good card in any creature-based deck, which is a lot of what I like to do and what's generally good in draft in the first place, so we'll just go for the Glimmerlight here. I think that's perfectly solid. Pick 6 certainly has some spice to it as well. We have a Meatlocker Drowned Diner. This is the best card to synergize with our Optimistic Scavenger and potential blue-white starts, if we can manage to stay on those colors. So I do like that. There's also Defiant Survivor. Pretty coin flippy, pretty weak on the draw, pretty strong on the play. You want to get a lot of cards to help it survive. If you get a survival trigger with it, it's great. If you don't, then it's really bad. Just a 3-drop that trades into a 2-drop. And Murder is a little weaker in this format than most because so many cards come with an ETB effect. But I think Murder, Survivor, and Meatlocker are all super reasonable choices. But I'm going to go for the one that has the highest potential upside. Again, if we can get into that blue-white deck. I really don't know for sure what's open right now just because the packs have been so weak really in every color, that I don't want to try to assume that blue-white is not going to be open and get bucked off of the strongest color pair for the Scavenger just yet. Pick 7, just a Shard Mage's Rescue here. Very good card with Optimistic Scavenger. Just super good for that deck. Happily take that. There's another one here that seems perfectly fine. Unsettling Twins is also quite a decent white spell. This has been a weird draft. I feel like, I mean, pick 2 Centipede. It's a little early for it. Not the total end of the world. The card is pretty good. But like pick 3, 4, 5 were like real bad. And then like 6, 7, 8 feel like are immediately just pretty good cards again. Like it's weird when your 4th, 5th, and 6th pick are just like much weaker than your 6th, 7th, 8th, or 8th, 9th, 10th, all that. But that's kind of where I feel like we're at. We've got Campground here. We could also take Valgavoth's Lair. This is just a Terramorphic Expanse or Evolving Wilds, so it's not super great, but it does trigger Eerie as well, which might make it interesting enough if we try to be blue-white. Like, if we are blue-white, Campground is better fixing by giving us both of our colors, but Valgavoth's Lair is an Eerie trigger, and Valgavoth's Lair is playable even if we're not blue-white. I really don't like the green-white archetype in the format, so I'm not super pumped about a baseball bat there. As an alternate way, we'll just take the really open Valgavoth's Lair, play that in anything we play, grab a Jump Scare. Happy to see that late. Honestly, that pack was so bad. Jump Scare, I think, was one of my favorite cards in that pack in the first place. Now a Clammy Prowler, really filler card here no matter which direction we go. So we lean a little more towards that blue. Here's another Jump Scare, insanely late. I think that card's a little bit undervalued. I probably overvalue it a bit, but I still don't think it's like a pick 13 level card. And we get pretty lucky here, opening up a decent white rare. This honestly isn't the scariest card in the universe. It has that survival mechanic. You kind of have to get lucky to get that rolling. But if you do get that mechanic rolling, then it goes pretty crazy on the roll model. And we have 2 Shard Mage's Rescues to help with that, 2 Jump Scares to help with that. We could be a really combat trick heavy deck to really try to keep these survival creatures around and make sure that this becomes tapped. It gets its flying counter, and from there on just gets bigger and bigger. Gets a +1/+1 counter, gets lifelink, gets more +1/+1s. Pretty solid if you get it rolling. Again, it's just a little bit of a gamble if you can get it rolling or not. Pick 2 is interesting here. We can take a second Meatlocker Drowned Diner, but Arabella is quite powerful. I don't know that we saw a bunch of good red pack 1 though, but we really didn't see a bunch of good stuff in any color. Black probably seemed most open, but it wasn't even like with particularly good black cards, just more black cards than anything else. Could play it really safe and take Fear of Surveillance. Green also felt maybe more open than blue, but I think that green-white is not a good color pair for the Beastie trying to hit that Delirium quickly. So I don't even think that's particularly exciting. I think I'm just going to speculate on the Arabella here. The upside is quite high. She is super, super powerful in the Boros decks. Pick 3 now. All right, well, really, I think the strongest card in this pack is Threats Around Every Corner, but it just makes no sense in a green-white deck because we're just not doing any manifesting with our white, basically at all. Some weird multicolor soup pile. Draft a bunch of green cards from here, or we just take Unsettling Twins, 2 creatures off of 1 spell. That card's fine, but it's certainly weaker than Threats. Generally, it'd be a pretty speculative pick to take Threats Around Every Corner. There is a Ride of the Moth. Had we jumped heavy on black, maybe Orzhov would have been the best place to end up in this draft pod, but I think the Orzhov archetype, again, is pretty finicky and quite weak generally, so I still don't think I'd be super happy. I just don't think Threats Around Every Corner like works at all with almost any of the cards we've drafted so far. So I'm just going to lean on the much weaker card that will actually work in our deck, the Unsettling Twins. And that's a pick 4 trapped in the screen. We're super happy to see that. That's a pretty lucky pickup. The blue cards are looking really mediocre off of this pack. So we may need to actually lean on the Arabella towards Boros or something. Fear of Surveillance is solid with the Scavenger. Get us some more 2-mana creatures as well over another 4-mana play. I mean, I wouldn't mind another Unsettling Twins. I think it's a stronger card in a vacuum. You just usually need more 2-drops on your curve. Yeah, I'll actually lean towards that. Pick 6, there's a Cheerleader. Get more 2-drops in the curve. Or I could take a Most Valuable Slayer. That card's perfectly fine in Boros. That may be where we're ending up here. Just seeing pretty much nothing blue. Egotist is pretty strictly a Rakdos card. I think I'm still just taking Cheerleader. I don't even think Slayer's going to be that much better than Cheerleader if we do end up in Boros. Pick 7, super bad pack, I think, for everybody. Grab a Carnival or a Frantic Strength or something. Not a fan of Shepherding Spirits. Take a Carnival, I guess. Pick 8. Yeah, I mean, I guess Orzhov is just the most open stuff, but there's basically nothing to take here other than speculate. I could take a Bear Trap, really filler removal, but I think we just take Victor. I don't even think Victor's that strong. You need a whole ton of Eerie for him to do much of anything. That's actually kind of hard to do in Orzhov. Pick 9. Pretty booty pack. Super filler blue cards, or a Moldering Gem for green soup. Pick 10. Well, there we go. There's another enchantment for black-white Eerie. Or a filler creature towards red-white Arabella. I do feel black has been more open. We've only got the one Arabella. I'll take the Attic here. Pretty filler, but it's a filler card for the archetype that looks like where we're supposed to be in this draft pod. It's just really not an archetype I'm ever happy to end up in this format. Not a fan. Not a fan of this draft. Another Trapped in the Screen is a decent pickup for our pack 3 pick 1. Under the Skin's probably the best card in this pack. Unable to Scream's pretty good as well. But this is the one for our deck, guaranteed. Why do I have to open all the blue cards pack 3? Move over, Victor. I have just as many blue cards drafted as black cards already, and Entity Tracker is so much more powerful as a payoff than Victor that we got to just take the blue cards we see now. Which is going to be very few, but we have enough white cards to just have a really light splash for our secondary color. Here's Split Skin Doll for a solid value play. 2 mana, 2/1 draw a card. Way better than these blue cards for this deck. Entity Tracker is really good with their Shard Mage's Rescues as well. If we get enough cards, we're going to probably have to cut Jump Scares as some of our first cuts, as the Shard Mage's Rescues are such a wide bit better in this deck. They're so much better. Tunnel Surveyor is actually pretty nice with a bunch of Eerie triggers, and it can clutter up the board. We really need more creatures here as well. I think that's better than a third Shard Mage's Rescue. It just feels like a lot for just the combat tricky protection-y spells here. I mean, this is a deck with Entity Tracker, Role Model, and Scavenger with a lot of cards to protect with cards like that, but I gotta up the really solid creatures into the deck. Like, oops, not the Spirits, the Tunnel Surveyor here. Alright, Twist Reality is the least mediocre on-color card here, because I'm already considering cutting Jump Scares, but it's also probably one of the first cards we cut. Yeah, Savior's just very inconsistent. Here's another Acrobatics Cheerleader. Another Tunnel Surveyor is actually kind of a good pickup here. It's probably better than Glimmerlight. Another 3-drop on the curve, 2 creatures off one thing instead of just equipment plus 1. I think that's better for this deck. It is close. Might actually be low enough on removal to take Duskmourn's domination here. 2 Trap, 2 Exercise, 1 Meat Locker. I don't think Friendly Ghost is going to be anything super special, so sure. A lot of Unsettling Twins here. Oh, actually another Glimmerlight's probably better than that. And we got all the blue cards back, they just suck. Whole lot of not getting played, I'm thinking. Ooh, pick 12, Shard Mage's Rescue. Sure, this is a triple Shard Mage's Rescue deck. No respect for the 1 mana white tricks. No Jump Scares, no rescues getting picked up by anybody but me. All right, we kind of just have a deck. I mean, kept our second color open so long that we've got all these just various decent off-color cards. Like, we never even got anything super, super strong in any other color, right? And we still had that second color open to be like, anything strong shows up, we take that and go that way. And it's like, okay, Centipede and Jim were the best green cards we saw. Victor was the best black card. Arabella the best red. Blue, we saw Entity Tracker being better than all those. So blue it is. Not the loveliest draft ever, not the cleanest draft ever, but we ended with a perfectly reasonable little deck here. We could get lucky, get on the play, curve out, get some wins that way, but we are going to need some decent luck on our side for this draft. So fingers crossed things go our way here, but I think we're just going to call it a deck here. We could arguably throw one more non-land into the deck and cut a land, go for a 16-lander, because the curve is not particularly high. But the question is really, are any of these cards strong enough to really want over just more consistently hitting every land drop? Like, none of these are even the greatest flood prevention at all. They're just, like, fine cards. I guess, I mean, we are going to have to try to rely on curving out consistently to the best of our abilities, so throwing in another 2-3 mana creature just to get a little bit of damage in could help us do that slightly more consistently, have us flood out a little bit less. Yeah, I mean, one of these filler blue spells, I'll just put a Piranha Fly in here and get more creatures into this deck. Cut a land for that. 15 blue cards, sorry, 15 white cards, 7 blue, so cut 1 blue source and call it a deck here. Head into the gameplay. Let's see how it does. We do get to start things off on the play with some survival creatures to try to get flying onto early. Playing against the black deck. Really would have preferred another plains than the island here, but still decent to keep hitting our lands. But being able to cast a cheerleader, there we go. Cast a cheerleader and hold up a rescue in the same turn is big. Alright, we're going to have 5 power worth of flyers just jamming in early here. They don't have like a 3 power blocker this turn. They could have the 3 mana 3/2 flash creature out of black. That'd be pretty brutal here because Exercise is a sorcery. I won't be able to do anything about that. They just trade with the other cheerleader. It's technically not even a particularly bad trade, right? They trade their 3-drop into my 2-drop, but the fact that I wouldn't be keeping a flyer here would be a bummer. Luckily, they have Murder, which is way better for me. I get to actually just buff the cheerleader and keep it around, completely counter the Murder. Fanatic of the Harrowing. Goodbye 1 Exercise. There's no legal targets right now, and I think I need to be able to cast something next turn. So if I miss on this draw and just hit a land, I'm just doing absolutely nothing with my mana, and that's not a great position to be in when I'm trying to put pressure on my opponent. Speaking of trying to put pressure on my opponent, do we play the Prowler and go for unblockable swings? I mean, we're already there in the sky. They play any flying blocker, Exercise could kill some of them. I think I'm on Unsettling Twins over Clammy Prowler. That certainly worked out well, because we milled 2 lands by casting that. Had we not, we would have played Prowler top deck another land, which is kind of inconsequential. Oh boy, that's fun, isn't it? Opponent had no such problems pulling Mythics, but I can Exercise Valgavoth. I have to sack 3 non-land permanents, but here's where that Unsettling Twins played egregiously well, actually. Sack a Shard Mage's Rescue, the Twins, and the 2/2. Exile Valgavoth, they can never reanimate it again. Slam in for 4. I'll hold this land in case they have another Fanatic, but if they don't kill a cheerleader, they're just dead now. If they don't kill a cheerleader or play a flyer. If this deck manages to beat a reanimated Valgavoth, I am going to be the happiest camper. That would be nuts, but I assume the fact that they didn't play anything, yeah, means they're just holding up removal to not die here. They still go to 2. Here's Clammy Prowler. Now, even if they play a flying blocker, I go for an unblockable attack next turn by swinging both and giving Cheerleader unblockability. So they gotta have removal for Cheerleader here. Okay, trapped in the screen. Oh no, that gets rid of both? That's really frustrating. If that just had me sack one or the other, we just went off the trapped in the screen there. Wow, that's brutal. Absolute perfect card. Draw one, discard one. They're still at 2 for the rest of this game. Basically, if I ever hit them with any creature, we win. Oh, this is not the time for lands. Still give the Unsettling Twins the MVP award this game. 2 2/2s for 2 cards to sack the Valgavoth, plus they milled 2 lands to prevent a little bit of flood. Merge of Faithful. Just got nothing in grave. Yeah, they just got nothing in grave. There's one Fanatic, I guess. Here's my doll. They have a Valgavoth and a Toby over there. Toby's a lot worse than Valgavoth. Okay, they don't have any flyers, but they've also gained life from a merge, so they're at 5. This game is such existential pain. Oh, good grief. They just have the exercise for that thing as well to make me sack another creature. Okay, it's an enchantment and a non-enchantment. So it doesn't kill both of these at least. This blocks the 4/4. We take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I lose the game to removal either way. I gotta try to get this damage in. I don't literally die immediately to removal if I don't attack with Piranha Fly, but then they still removal spell Mutilator and force me to chump block with Piranha Fly. I then have no creatures against 3 of theirs. So there's really not a good reason to hold back Piranha Fly there. Please, Lord, tell me they swung into dead to removal. Oh, they were really relying on that manifest from the rat there. They were like, well, we're not dead to removal because the rat manifests when it dies, but surprise, it's exile removal, and we somehow pull out the victory against the Toby Valgavoth deck? Let's go. No rares necessary that game. Just a couple cheerleaders for most of the damage. Let's go. Here we are for game 2 on the draw. Hand is quite strong. We have our cheerleader, a Glimmerlight to slap onto it, Shard Mage's Rescue for it as well, and 3 removal spells now, double trapped in the screen, and a Duskmourn's Domination for the end game. Cheerleader into Glimmerlight hold up rescue or Glimmerlight plus equip. Holding up rescue would be really suspicious, but like they don't have a good block for it anyway. I think we attack here. If we trade, we're fine with it because then they can't manifest dread. If they don't trade, then we'll trapped in the screen the survivor. Because we kind of need to kill that before it gets any survival triggers. Or at least we need to guarantee that it's not going to get any. And if I just try to like play a Glimmerlight and equip and have a 2/2 up on blocks, they can just removal spell the token and get in. And that would be bad for me. Okay, trapped in the screen, looking great this game. Need to trap immediately. That is 5 a swing. I probably do. As much as I would love to get more creatures down here. Green's got some ways to blow up enchantments, though. That could be awkward for us. They've got ways to, at instant speed, re-spit out a creature. Killer's Mask, 2/2 Menace. That's not so important. I can easily just play some more creatures at this point. Unless they manifested something really good, then that would be bad. Okay. I would have liked to see a land so I can double spell a healer and a Glimmerlight. I can only do one or the other. I think it's gotta just be Cult Healer. It's actually a pretty significant blocker. Against the 1/1, I need to have at least 3 toughness up. Or they can block and have it trade up. Alright, just take the Menace hit. Hopefully they didn't manifest anything big. If they did, then we really need to draw the lands to get to Duskmourn's domination. Alright, does not look like it. They don't flip it up at all yet. Miasma Demon. Discard a card, give Cheerleader -2/-2. Okay, they discard a full-on removal spell, and we just counter it anyway. Feels good. The demon itself is a problem, though. A 5/4 flyer. But they're out of cards. So double Glimmerlight. Kind of spicy. I mean, 1 Glimmerlight alone gets Cheerleader up to 4 power to attack into that demon. And Cold Healer's got lifelink as well, so I think we can make these kind of aggressive plays. It doesn't permanently have lifelink, but it'll have it on some important turns. I mean, I could even Cold Healer attack here. They could, like, chump kill a 1/1, I guess. I can't equip both Glimmerlights in one turn, so that makes me kind of want to hold off on even casting the other one until a turn where I'm also getting the lifelink. But that might be... I don't know. It might be wasteful of my mana, right? Because if I have 6 up, I'm just going to want a domination, and it would be nice to have that out already at that point. Alright, do they want to trade Fear into a Glimmer token? They sure do. Fine by me. Yeah, I'm gonna not play the other Glimmerlight, because the other thing I can do now is have the 4/4 Cheerleader up against the Demon to force them to give the Demon Menace, and then the 2/2 doesn't get in. And if they give the Demon Menace and attack with that, then, like, but they've got nothing on the Crackback, and our Crackbacks are great because we have the lifelinking Cold Healer. They can't really win the race particularly easily or particularly well. Okay, send in the Menace. Oh, it is big. It's a 6/5, sure. Okay. Clammy Prowler is big. Lifelink up that Cold Healer again. Start getting unblockable swings in the future. Sure, super hard for them to race this Cold Healer. I don't get to buff the Cheerleader up if I play Prowler, though. That's kind of a problem. I do like Glimmerlight and have them both big enough to swing here. Then I just have a Chumper on blocks, which means they could swing 11, but I'm gaining 4. I'm at 20. They would take 8 if they take it all and try to go for the counterattack. Ugh. This is kind of banking on land for domination, but man, if we hit land for domination, this is such a lethal couple turns here. Doing these 2 in a row. This play into domination next turn. Alright, I'm at 20 life, they're at 7. Get yourself 1 pretty good Crackback. I don't see any reason to buff this Glimmer, so I'm going to hold the Glimmerlights where they are so I don't have to spend any mana removing them if I cast Domination next turn. Come on, top deck basic land, baby. Bulch moves, they send in the team. Tap out into 1 creature, and then let us draw basic. That is not tapping out. could still have a removal spell or something here. Okay, that's tapping out on one creature. Not the land! Oh no! Okay, still in a fine spot, right? I trade in the Fear, gain 4, I'm at 13. Very much not dead. They're super dead to Cheerleader coming in, especially because I'll have the Clammy Prowler down. Oh boy! If I move this Glimmerlight to Cult Healer, I'm slightly safer on the defensive. But then I would need to spend a mana to move it back to Cheerleader to kill them in the sky next turn. Right? Like if they find something that's like a creature that enters the battlefield and kills another creature, which is possible, I don't remember exactly, but it's possible. They could like play that. It's a flying creature that also kills Clammy Prowler. And then I couldn't like re-equip Glimmerlight and also get that blocker out of the way with Duskmourn's Domination. So I'm just not going to move it here. Just be at 1 less life. So that, again, I could tap out for Domination and still get the full lethal. Because, right, if I move it over, I hit them down to 4 life. I'm tapped out because I moved it over. And then... I couldn't afford the full Domination plus move over even if I top deck a land. Where do I put this Glimmerlight? They're at 3. I don't think it goes to Cheerleader. Probably goes to Prowler. That's slightly less likely to die. To some green damage-based removal spell or something. But if they have that, they've got Snatchers, so they can still shoot for 6. I'm stressed. Arena directs are stressful. Gonna be close. I don't remember a Death Touch trick in this format. If they kill Clammy Prowler, they can play a Reach Blocker and not die. But if they have just a +2/+2, they kill me. And there is a +2/+2 trample kind of thing. Might have to block with Prowler. We still have them super dead if we hit a land, or if they don't have a reach creature. Oh, this is such a choice here. I also don't want to let them manifest with Rat, because that's another chance to hit a reach blocker. Like, if they have the combat trick, I have to block or I'm dead. If they have the reach blocker or fly or something, it's way worse to block. This is just a gamble on, do I think they have the combat trick or do I think they have the reach blocker? If they have the reach blocker, if I draw land, it still doesn't matter, because I still just domination them. So I think it's slightly safer to do this than the other way. Manifest, pick up a card from grave. So they're on the full gamble for the flyer or reach blocker, because they don't have a 3 mana or less flyer here. They're on only black mana for the flying blocker. So they have to be a 3 mana or less flying creature, because there's no like black reach creatures. I don't really think there's many even flying creatures at 3 or less. We didn't hit the land, so if they hit it, they hit it. Okay. Please no. Did I cast a rare that game either? No, but I mean, our opponent didn't either. Someone was not as swingy. Still super stressful, though. We're scrapping out here in this Arena Direct, and we are 2-0 heading into Game 3. Here we are for Game 3. Got a pretty sick rare in the hand, but no blue mana for it. But that's fine. The opening hand is pretty good, regardless. I think we're on the play. I hope we're on the play. We are. Let's go. Die roll winner extraordinaire on the play. 2 out of 3 games, I think, so far. Cheerleader first into the doll to draw a card without discarding. It would be nice to curve into Cult Healer too for maximum beef. Nowhere to run. Okay, goodbye Cheerleader. Yeah, well, then I have to discard for doll anyway, so we curve into Cult Healer. Tragic, that's not one of the cards I can exile and get my card back. It's just actually dead. Jesus, alright. The full grinded out Rakdos deck. Kind of awkward to be running out the Entity Tracker without any enchantments to draw cards off of here. But it feels better than just slamming down the doll and discarding a plains when I can go end step Tracker, then play doll, discard nothing, and maybe even draw into the enchantment off doll. It's a lot more mana efficient too. And we're a blue deck. There's a lot we could have at instant speed. So if they have just a good creature to cast here, I don't think they're super incentivized to just hold up removal against the empty board, even with the mana up, because I could just be playing that instant speed draw spell. Unholy Annex. Well, I'm going to be happy to exercise that. I'm slightly unhappy that it means we're almost definitely not playing an enchantment next turn, but still. Okay. Ooh, give me one of my 3 copies of the 1 white mana instant that gives +1/+1 hexproof, and we win this game, period. Okay, we didn't hit that, so we could lose. They could just blow up Tracker. But man, if we hit that, and then they like tap out to kill Tracker, we save it and draw a card. Like, whew. It's a hard game to lose there. Oh wait, they have nowhere to run. Nah, yeah, that's true. Okay, it doesn't matter. Nowhere to run's a frustrating card in draft. I definitely get it. They wanted it for standard, but it infuriates me in draft every time because it's like, okay, so they just randomly blank the 1 hexproof trick in the entire set. Cool. So yeah, because of nowhere to run, we couldn't even if I drew those. So it's actually a good thing I didn't, because if I drew it, I probably would have been so excited that I would not have remembered to think about the nowhere to run stopping hexproof, and I would have gotten demolished. I mean, it wouldn't be super demolished, right? Because Entity Tracker would draw us the card still. But now that I know, and I can remember that, I would like have cast it on Split Skin Doll if they cast like a murder on Entity Tracker, because then it's like, well, then I get the permanent +1/+1, and I get my card draw out of Tracker before it dies. They are not killing Entity Tracker. I am the world's happiest drafter for a turn here. They're killing it. Tragic. All right. I would like to draw 1 land out of these 3. I mean, that works. That is at least 1 land. The monkey's paw did curl. I don't want to meat locker that thing, and what I'm just going to have to trap in the screen it later as well. I'm going to have to ward myself twice. It's so insane. It doesn't even shut off their ward. Hypocritical card. All right, we just have to hit them with Split Skin Doll 6 more times. It'll be fine. Don't even worry about them having 4 cards left over there. We'll just hit them with all 4 times and it'll be good. Oh my god. 5 1/1 flyers. I got a trapped in the screen that. Domination elsewhere. Yeah, I definitely gotta do that. I can meat locker the Slayer, because if I domination the Slayer, I get a 0/4 with no abilities. So let's just stun it for a second, get a little bit of damage in while we can. Save domination for something with a larger stat line. Like if they play another 6/5 ward thing, at least I get a 3 something. Okay, at least I get a 1/4, but that's pretty brutal. Kill the doll and get a creature. There's my useless Shard Mage's Rescue. That's actually so devastating. Our deck is so weak to know where to run. Because we have triple rescue in it. Like, they just blank 3 of the cards in our deck, make them almost completely useless. Alright, goodbye. 1/4 with no abilities. Hello, 2/2 that super sucks this point in the game. Because you are never getting in. I guess I can attack into the Slayer and make it a 3/3. Could barely get it in if they don't play any other creatures. If they play another creature, they can double block. Okay. Yeah. They do have a lot more spells over there, so just more removal. Down to 12. Still another spell in hand. They do play it, it's a FOMO. Draw a card. They get 2 combats. It's one of the more reasonable draws. But I'm still taking a lot of damage here. So Sporogenic Infection, if I deal a single point of damage to the card that is enchanting, it'll die. But because of Most Valuable Slayer giving first strike, we can't like just block Slayer with a 1/1 and kill it. Because it just first strikes it away anyway, so they just completely counteract the downside of the infection. They're going to first strike the Fear Missing Out so that there's absolutely nothing I can do on blocks here to stop them from the double combat. Yeah, I mean, I can technically block with 4 power and toughness, but because it's spread amongst 2 creatures, they just first strike away the 3/3, and then the 1/1 won't kill it, or first strike away one of the 2/2/2s, and the other 2/2 won't kill it. Just have no viable blocks here. I can let them manifest, I guess. It's not horrible. But blocking FOMO is horrible. Now they can send in FOMO and Slayer, and they'll both have first strike, and there's no good way to block. It's a wide board, but I don't think it's wide enough against Slayer FOMO combo. These cards just work really well together. Unsettling Twins, MVP again. Get those lands out of here. 3 life. They get a double swing off one of these. I can't afford to attack. I need double blocks and triple blocks and all kinds of nonsense up to the best of my ability. Dead to infinite combat tricks and removal spells and stuff here, but we try to kill FOMO. I'm going to untap the other one. I'm going to have to block FOMO at least a little bit. The only way to kill is to block all three and rescue on one of them. Then I have to chump Slayer post-combat. If this face down is anything that flips up, we're super dead. Alright, I mean... what are you going to do in this position? We rescue the 1/1, so if they don't have an additional trick of some kind here, they just kill one of our 3 creatures we're blocking with. And we kill the FOMO. They have any kind of trick of any sort, we're super dead at 3. And that includes the face down flipping up into just about anything, even just like a 3/3 here. Here I am, still alive. Unfortunately, because this has been delta damage, if I double block, they still first strike away the whole board. So I might as well just lose 1 creature instead of 2. Well, if they draw absolutely nothing, 2 2/2s do kill the Slayer. They first strike away 1, but the other one does 2 damage to it, and because of Sporogenic Infection, any amount of damage is lethal. So no attacks. Play a land and pass. We draw a land and pass. Painter Studio, a draw 2. Gross. Fear of Lost Teeth and Skinner, I think, is actually just lethal, because Sawblade Skinner just shoots us in the face. They activate Defaced Gallery, though? Might have tapped out a lethal this turn now. Yeah, any target off of Skin Ripper for the number of cards they sacked this turn. We could have just been dead right now, because they could have played Skin Ripper and Fear of Lost Teeth, and the 2 mana they spent on their Faced Gallery could have been spent on sacking the Fear of Lost Teeth. That would shoot me for 1 with Fear of Lost Teeth's ability down to 2. I guess it puts me to 1 life. Fear of Lost Teeth hits me for 1, and Skin Ripper hits me for 1. All right. 2-1 it is. There's not a lot we could do that game. Still battled it out quite a long time, but not a good matchup for us. The Hexproof Destroyer into our triple Hexproof tricks was like particularly sad, but they also just had a much higher card quality there, and we could not get the kind of early aggro we were getting in some of those other matchups to try to make up for it. Just had a ton of removal there, so 2-1 heading into game number 4. This is an awkward opener, and we're on the draw, which is tragic. We need to hit 2 blue sources for domination. That's what makes it awkward, but we do have a 2-drop to start things off and some really nice 4-drops. We'll be able to cast no matter what lands we draw, as long as we just hit 1 land of any kind by turn 4, which is incredibly easy to do on the draw. 4 opportunities to hit any land before we need it. Opponent surveils 2, drops a mountain into the graveyard. So they are a blue-red rooms deck. Really fun archetype if you get the rares. to go with it, I think it's playable, but it is quite a rare dependent kind of archetype. One of the weaker archetypes you do need to be in like the open draft pod for it to be super good. But if you are, some of those blue-red rooms rares are devastating, like the Steaming Sauna thing. Okay. Piranha Fly, Glimmerlight up the token to stop their 1/1 from hitting me. Taking a lot of damage here for being on the draw. Because this Glimmerlight means... Glimmerlight plus the Apparition itself gets to just be jamming here in the early game. We go for Defaced Gallery as well. Full aggro blue-red. I like it. That's cool. Yeah, that's good enough to force a trade here and make us really want to draw our exile removal for this Apparition. That thing is gigantic. And waiting till turn 6 is super slow. I mean, I guess I can just get +1/+1 off of here. Yeah. So I don't get to block this at all off of them just activating either room. I would just be chumping with Piranha Fly anyway. So feels like I might as well attack in with Piranha Fly. Because again, Piranha Fly with a Glimmerlight and a Rescue still dies to a single Eerie trigger on Apparition, which they're guaranteed to have off these rooms. So I can either attack in hoping to Shard Mage's Rescue kill Apparition, or cast Unsettling Twins. I guess I should probably cast Unsettling Twins, because it's pretty bad for me if I equip Glimmerlight, attack in, and just deal 3 to my opponent. Like, if they just go to 17, then I play nothing else this turn, and that's pretty horrible as a turn, so... Gotta just play a Twins and pass, I guess. It's rough that in order to go for the bluff attack, I have to equip Glimmerlight pre-combat. If it was all instant speed combat tricks, that'd be great, right? Because then if they don't block, okay, I'll keep all my mana up and use Unsettling Twins, but it wouldn't be a big enough trick if I didn't equip Glimmerlight at sorcery speed before attacks, and that would be really bad. Again, if they didn't block. I can do it this turn, which is nice. I'll be able to equip Glimmerlight to Piranha Fly and still have the Unsettling Twins mana up if they don't block. And now the Tunnel Surveyor mana up if they do. It's pretty cute. Again, because Piranha Fly is essentially useless on blocks, we send it. And obviously no blocks from opponent. They play it safe there. I don't think the difference between a 2/2 and another 2/2 here is particularly high. So I think I'm holding up Shard Mage's Rescue over playing Unsettling Twins. Alright, if I hit the land for domination, we're still probably in this game. But I'm under a lot of pressure if I don't. We're going to die quite quickly from this life total. Oof, the Smoky Lounge. 2 room mana, plus it makes a gigantic flying spirit as well. That's not exactly a rare, but it is one of the really, really powerful cards that pushes you to the blue-red rooms archetype. We're down to 7, dead in 2 hits from this Apparition. We did hit the land to borrow it and force them to activate Misty Salon, which is going to be a lot of damage here. So we go all in on said damage. They have 2 mana up for just like a deal 3 or something. Sure. I have 2 blockers up for the Menace, and even if they kill one of them, it's just a 2/2 Menace. I go to 5. They did Scorching Dragonfire our flyer. They take the trade into the face down, go to 13. All right, we got to outrace the flying token, which will be really difficult. Pretty much have to draw something to deal with the flying token now, because it's going to be like a 5/5 already, which blocks and kills anything on the defensive, and then Crackback kills me in just 2 swings. It's going to be a hard race, even against what they just have on board, let alone whatever they've drawn into. Go for the aquarium. Oh, right. Because of the extra mana from the Misty Salon, they actually get to use both. They get the 3/3 blocker there, and then now like a 6/6 flyer. I think that, yeah, that's big enough. I basically need Trapped in the Screen to have a shot. They don't go for Misty Salon, though. They go Soul Rager, Hand That Feeds, play it real defensively. Fair enough. There's the Meat Locker for the flyer. I almost feel like I have to Meat Locker Soul Rager here, which is quite a bummer. Because if I don't, that's going to shoot me for 2 and draw a card every turn. I don't think I can get away with doing that, though. Send in a bunch of 2/2s, have the Shard Mage's Rescue up to trade into the 3/3. Have 2 more 2/2s up on blocks. If they don't block at all, I die, right? I Unsettling Twins, I have 3 blockers up. I can double block the Menace, single block the 3/3, take 2. I guess I don't die. But I have to keep this pressure on. All right. It's an entity tracker. I could flip that up and cast Meat Locker in the same turn. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it sucks that Soul Rager is going to be a definite win con here. Kills me in 4 activations, but the flyer kills me in 1 hit. Because they activate Soul Rager, I'm at 5. The 6/6 flyer hits me for 6, and I'm dead. So I have to Meat Locker the flyer. I have to let Soul Rager chill. Cursed Recording. If they draw an instant or sorcery, we're super dead. Because just draw 1 removal spell. It is now 2 removal spells. Ripperoo. Stun the 6/6. Draw a land. Because of this Cursed Recording, I honestly think I'm just attacking with everybody here. Because if I play in a way to where I have enough blockers up, if they draw 1 removal spell, I'm still getting double removal spelled. So to play around a removal spell is holding an insane amount of blockers up, because they also have Menace. We're essentially at 5 off of Soul Rager. Right, I go to 5 off Soul Rager. So if the Menace hits me, they activate Soul Rager again and I die. So I need to have 2 blockers up post 2 removal spells. So I need 4 blockers. I have to hold up 4 blockers to play around them top decking removal in the next 2 cards. Next 3 cards, actually, because I can activate it again. It feels like I have to gamble. For the 2-turn kill. Yeah, if they hit removal, they win. If they don't hit removal, I kill them in 2 swings. And that's all we've got. I do have to hold one of these back up. To not literally just die to the Menace immediately. I should have spent the mana on Glimmer Lighting elsewhere then. And held the 1/1 up. Pretty happy if they block Entity Tracker, I think. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. So it means we kill Soul Rager. Out of reach at 2 damage removal, I guess. Okay, did they hit removal and we're dead? Or did they not? And we maybe kill them. Did they seriously top deck Cursed Recording Scorched Dragonfire? You cannot make it up. You cannot make it up. I could have hold everyone back up and they... Oh my god, dude. All right. Yeah. I think we did all we could there. Because Cursed Recording Dragonfire as the top deck for the double Cursed Recording activation, there's no... Like, that's just the full bombing run on my entire board. All right. I mean, that's Arena Directs for you. You only get one loss of breathing room, so they are super, super hard to trade into the wins to get through, but that's what it's all about. I mean, the entry fee versus the prize out means you only need to win 1 out of like 8 to be in the money. You get booster boxes you can easily sell for about $200, and it costs $25 per entry, so 8 entries would be the $200 that you're just going to get back selling the 2 booster boxes. And if you're really lucky and you can sell the boxes at MSRP, technically you have 10 runs to try to get them. So yeah, it is super easy to get kicked out. So low on losses here, best of 1 kind of format. A lot of the runs are going to be like this, but all we need is that 1 victory to get back in the money here. So pretty bummer draft today here, honestly, throughout the whole draft and then the gameplay. I think we ended up with one of the strongest decks we could have had because Entity Tracker was kind of the strongest card we saw the entire draft. It was just a pretty weak draft pod overall. I did dance around a lot with the colors early, just staying pretty married to the white and keeping that secondary color open, trying to take the strongest cards there. So the alternate direction that I think ends with pretty much just as strong of a deck as this is the black-white path, because black seemed to be the most open non-white color. So if we went for just the most open colors, we would have had an Orzhov deck here with some decent removal out of the black. Even with the fact that black looked more open than the other colors, we didn't see anything super strong in black regardless. We would have had like a Victor and a couple murders and some stuff. Like, would have probably been pretty equally powerful to this deck. A little bit more probably consistent of a strategy with a bunch of just consistently good commons and uncommons instead of this deck that is slightly higher power, thanks to just how good Entity Tracker is, how good we can high roll with that card. But I really do not think there was any deck that is considerably better than what we ended up drafting here. I'm pretty fine with the deck we ended up with out of the pod. It was just a pretty weak pod, and we really felt it during the gameplay for the 2-2 run. That is another loss in the Arena Direct runs. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and are interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.